everyone, I'm Rita with Everything Homemade, and this is the 12th video in the series of how to garden. And we are at planting day finally. This is one of the most exciting times that I have in the garden, is actually taking the plants that we started and actually put them into the garden. So in this particular part, I am going to basically break this up into segments because there's a lot of planting. So I'm going to go how to garden series 12A, 12B, 12C, because they're all related, they're all done at the same time, but we'll be dealing with different plants. So because transplanting is tricky, and if you do it wrong, the potential to kill your plants is incredibly high. But if you know what you're doing, it's incredibly simple. So we're going to do the cucumbers, the zucchini, the butternut squash, and the pumpkins in this particular episode of this series. So we have our tunnels behind us, as you can see, and this is my Ocean. This is Ocean here. She's going to be helping me with the cucumbers, and we're going to be planting in the cucumbers. Now, what do you need to plant in the cucumbers? One, you need to have some kind of setup like I do, or if you're in a warmer area, you can just put seeds in the ground. Here in northern Alberta, Canada, that is not so. So we have to really protect our cucumbers from the cold, the freak frosts that happen, the pounding cold rain, the wind, you name it, we have to protect them. The other thing that you need is some manure. So right over here, I got a bucket of wonderful decomposed poo. I'm using actually cow manure on these particular ones. Remember a couple episodes before I was talking about manure and I showed you the manure pile? Well, this is some manure from there. The other thing is you might want a couple of shovels, some gloves, and of course some water. And that is about it. So the first step we're gonna do is we're gonna pull back this plastic. It's windy today, so I apologize if the wind picks up and whips through. There's nothing much I can do about it. But we're gonna lift up the plastic, okay? And then Ocean is gonna tackle one of the holes. I'm gonna tackle the other. I'm gonna be teaching her at the same time as teaching you. Are you ready?
Yes.
Excellent. So let's get started. So we are set up here. I have a hole already put into my plastic. If you don't, make a hole in your plastic, okay? Ocean here, she also has a hole. We already got existing holes because we are using plastic that from the years before. But what I want to do is I'm going to dig down about a foot. I'm going to remove all the dirt and I'm going to put it off to the side here. So let's do that. So you can see the hole. We got a really good depth. Take a look at mine here, Ocean. We got really good depth here. Yep. And so what we want to do now is add some manure. Now the reason why I don't just put the manure right away on top and then the plant is because let's say it was a little bit of hot or they're really delicate roots. I want a barrier until the roots kind of seep into the manure. It's just a precaution that I like to take. But cucumbers are heavy feeders. Have you ever heard of somebody say, wow, you know, in my compost pile I had pumpkin seeds or cucumber seeds that germinated? That's because they're heavy feeders. They love the nutrients, and your vegetables taste better with the available nutrients. Okay, so I'm just gonna put on my gloves here.
I'm not touching it.
Yes, I will. So we got some really nice manure here. I'm just gonna kind of nicely, so I'm gonna fill it about halfway full. And I'm gonna do the same on Ocean's here. Need a little more, Ocean?
Yeah, a little. Not much.
Okay, so I got some really nice stuff. Then what I'm going to do is take some of my dirt and I'm going to put about an inch over it. Okay, so first of all, let's take our pot and kind of put it in the dirt. Now I want the dirt to go up as high, Ocean, so we're a little bit too high. So let's actually remove a little bit of dirt here. The key to these is we're not actually popping out. So Ocean, you don't have as much practice with these, so watch what I do first and what's really important. Okay, so you have your plant here. Now the first step is you do not want to water your containers that particular day or drench them the night before, because if you make these wet, it weighs down the roots, and when you take the lid off, you will snap the roots. Anytime you transplant, you don't want to transplant your plants when the soil is soggy wet, because it'll break off the roots and cause more root damage. Now, if we mess up these roots, the chance of survival of a cucumber is like 95% dead. So we can't mess up, okay? So basically what we want to do is you take the lid off really carefully, and I do it on an angle, and you can see here, you can see the roots, and you can see that it is not falling out.
So can I.
Look at that, okay? Okay, it's that simple. Then what I do is just very slowly, I just gently touch the bottom. I very slowly put my cucumber plant in place. I have not disturbed them, have not even done anything to bug them. And now I want, the key is, you see the stem right here? I want to get the soil around it where I'm burying the stem so it's nice and strong. Okay, so gentle, break up the clumps around your container. Okay, just kind of loosen the soil. And what I'm going to do is take a little bit of manure with me, and I'm going to mix it in a little bit here. Ocean, just mix it in. This is all decomposed poo. It's not like it's fresh stuff. And there's some really nice stuff here. So mix that in with your dirt. And I'm just going to mix it because the container's up here. It's not going to mess up the roots. It was the roots underneath that was the more concern. So I'm going to just start kind of mixing things through here. So it lightens up the compost, or my dirt is a bit heavy. So I'm always conditioning my garden dirt. So I'm going to,
Like that?
yeah, it's beautiful. Just make sure you're not really clumpy. And kind of press it down as you go, because you want them securely in. Oh, little babies, look at this is your final destination. And they'll grow super quick now that we're gonna have the plastic over them. Oh, okay. So now, when you get into the pot, Ocean, you really want to work it around. So really, really move it around and really fill it in. And then you want some nice light soil, and be really gentle around them, okay?
Yep.
Okay. So now I'm going to start filling in, because what I want their stems to be completely secure, and that'll prevent splitting of the stems. That will prevent them drying out. Believe it or not, cucumbers can get really, really, what's the word? Frail, really frail at the stems. And I've had cucumbers bust at the stems before. So I want to basically, you would never know that I planted this pot in. And the first one is in. And so remember, these will now just grow up and over and cover this whole entire area. If you're wondering what these hoops are, this is rebar. It's just bent rebar. And so now I'm just going to water right around them. I'm not worried about watering on top of them. They'll be covered in plastic. They'll dry up really, really quick. But I'm going to give this whole hole a really good watering here. And if I need to add a little bit more dirt somewhere, then I can. You saw there some dirt went away. So I'm just gonna press it down, and there we go. Okay, Grace, grab me some more there. So we have everything planted. Now it's time to close everything back up. So let's do that, Ocean. Now, as these adjust, I will every morning take off the plastic and leave it aside. But today is really windy. I want them to get used to the environment inside the plastic, and then we can either open up one end. What my mom used to do is take the plastic and use clothespins and just clothespin it to the rebar here. So we are at the zucchini bed. Same idea, just a little bit different shape. I also have Grace here. Want to wave, Grace? I also have Grace as my helper. She loves zucchini, don't you?
Yeah.
So what we're going to do again is just remove the plastic and dig. Ocean, could you go and grab my pair of scissors, please, to make X's in here? So let's remove the fabric or the plastic. Okay, so our zucchini plants, they're awesome looking. They've got the first 2 sets of leaves here, and they've got the second set coming. Okay, so we got 4 zucchini plants, and what we're gonna do is the exact same thing. Grace, you watched us do cucumbers. We're gonna do the identical thing. The only thing is that I have to make holes. So I'm just gonna take a piece of scissor, and you can square this, you can X it, it don't matter what technique, but if you feel the dirt underneath, it's exceptionally warm. So I basically make an X, and then what I do is I go around and cut off the flaps, making a somewhat of a messy circle. You want to do one?
Yeah.
So you just make an X and then make a circle. All right, Grace. So you take your pot, you put it on an angle, and then you gently remove the lid. There you go. Look at all them roots. Look at all them roots. You see that?
Yeah, that's
wow.
A little white.
That is. So now you want to just gently position your plant in. Perfect. So now what we're going to do is we take some more manure, mix it in with the dirt beside you, and start filling in around the zucchini. Okay, zucchini is done. Grace is just watering the last one in. And because today is so warm, we actually had to make a quick adjustment on the cucumbers. We opened each end up because when the sun comes out, it is very warm. So we're actually going to leave the plastic off, but we will put the plastic on in the evening again. So now we are going to head off to the butternut squash. We are at the butternut squash and I have Annika with us. And so the first step is identical to the rest, but these are not in the nice containers that we take the lids off. So I'm going to show you how to transplant out of these containers without breaking the roots. So first of all, Ocean, throw Annika her shovel, and we're going to dig holes here, Annika. Okay, so if we see any dandelion roots or anything like that, we need to get rid of them. So dig down deep. Okay, so manure. We're going to do the same thing. We've got some nice manure here. Put that in the hole. Probably need a little more. There you go. Okay, now put a little dirt on top. Just like that, and I'll just press it down a bit. So, yeah, about like a little bit high. Okay, so let's just see the root depth that I have with this one. If the roots show at the bottom, then I know that her hole isn't quite deep enough. Okay, so what you want to do is take your fingers, and you want to put your fingers in between their stems. You got a good shot of that, Ocean? Okay, so that way this supports the top. You see that? You see that? Okay, so that's really important when you're transplanting. Then I'm going to flip this over. Remember, this container is not soggy wet. You will ruin your plants if this is soggy wet, because I will take this off and it would be like having sand in your container, soaking wet sand. You remove it, and what does the sand do?
Right.
It goes everywhere. It loses complete form, and that's what your dirt it will do. Okay, so what I want to do is very gently squeeze each side. Now I'm gentle, like I'm literally just going like this, and I want to loosen out of my pot. Okay, and if you notice, there's stuff in the bottom here, but my roots don't go that deep. These are tiny, so I'm okay. And I'm just going to hold the bottom, and I'm going to flip it over and in. So that tells me that you're going to be safe here. Now I'm going to do this part, okay? And even with this small plant, I do the exact same thing. Okay, and that one popped out all the way, and you can tell there's actually no roots here, so it's no problem. Even if we shave off, they're just starting to come there. So I'm going to just lean over and just gently put this dude and squish him down a little bit. So now what I want you to do is take a little bit of manure here, mix it in, and just start. I'll just get you started here, okay? Because if we disturb these roots just even slightly, you could kill the plant. Okay? That's bad. So now you should be good. You should be good. Just put it around, tighten it up. Okay, so I'm going to do mine here. Oh, can somebody throw me those scissors? Thank you. So I'm just going to trim the flaps so they get out of my way here. And again, these holes were made because I never throw my plastic away. I always try to reuse it. And then that way it's more cost effective in the garden if you continue to use and reuse, or continue to reuse the stuff that you purchase. Okay, that little guy looks good. Let's just put a little bit more dirt on top there, and I'm just going to press it down. And now I'm just going to lift the fabric or the plastic here. What I'm going to do is just put it around so the water doesn't. That's right. You've been watching and observing, Rel, haven't you? Okay. Look at that.
Can I water him?
Yeah, so what I want you to do is just start from here. Just water him around, okay? Hey, you do that while I finish mine. Put some manure. Like, this is just awesome. This is only 1-year-old manure. And it's just beautiful. I cannot get over how beautiful it looks. I'm going to take a tomato cage here and I'm going to insert it temporary until probably for about a month. Once I see that these guys are, bushing this out, then I will remove it, but it'll still be a few weeks, but it'll protect it enough for the bad weather that we usually get in June here. So with yours, I'm going to make this, I don't want the tomato cage to punch through the roots. I just want it to go around. So I'm just going to go like that, and that'll give enough protection. Then we'll just put a sheet of plastic right over with a few rocks and we're done. So off to the pumpkins. Okay everyone, we are at the pumpkin bed. Now these are wired racks. If you've seen the video with my spaghetti squash, it's the exact same idea, only we're doing pumpkins. I've got Ocean here, Wave over here, Ocean, and I've got Grace down there. So we're each going to do a hole. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a pair of scissors and we're just going to open up these holes a little bit better for them. There's 4 to 5 plants in each of the containers, so we got to give them some space and some of this plastic. So you guys take a look at how big my hole is here. I want it fairly good size. Grace, come look. So when you get the scissors, you can kind of see how big I want that hole to be.
Oh yeah, that's big.
So a pretty good size hole, okay?
Yeah.
So again, the exact same technique as always. We're going to dig our hole. Okay, so as you can see, we have some really nice pumpkin. I mean, they're just gorgeous. So they got some leaves coming. They've got nice, strong, look at that, nice, strong stems. Absolutely gorgeous plants. Because we had these out the second they started coming up, they're not flimsy. I can shake like the wind, and they're sturdy, and that's exactly how you want them. And that's exactly why I take all my plants out the second that they germinate. And that's why I start them a little bit later than most people do. But my reward is strong, sturdy plants that aren't overgrown. So now you see really why I do what I do. You guys tell me when you're ready and I'll pass the manure down.
Yeah, so like that, Ocean? Yep.
So I'm going to add some manure to the bottom of my hole. I'm going to test it again. I like that depth. I'm going to add a little bit of dirt just on top to protect those roots. I'm going to throw a rock away there. I'm going to test it again. Looking good, looking good. Okay, same technique. Grab your hand, okay? Grab your hand, slip it through all your plants and flip over. Now these ones are going to be bigger, so I really want to get the bottom here really badly. And voila! So you can see the roots on here. They're much bigger plants, and the roots are a lot bigger, but you see, completely intact. Again, I want to flip over very gently. Change my position, my hands. Get it touching. Leave it. Add some manure. Mix it into my soil here. I'm going to just breaking up all the clumps as much as possible. And then I'm just going to start adding it back in. What, Grace? Okay, well, grab a squash and put it in there and
Not
test
squash,
it.
pumpkin.
Or sorry, pumpkin.
Bring the other.
So everyone, planting the pumpkins, the zucchini, the butternut squash, and the cucumbers are all done. The only thing we're going to do is add in a couple of the tomato cages here so we can cover them with plastic overnight and then take the plastic off during the day. So now we just need to baby them, make sure that they grow strong and large. Now it's going to be about a month before they start producing flowers, but in the first month is the critical time to really pay attention to them because of the weather here in northern Alberta, Canada. So water them well, make sure they do not dry out, and we should have beautiful produce by the end of the season. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.